right now. You might be breaking the law. Not by hacking a bank. Not by stealing a car, but by doing something completely normal, something you probably did today. Millions of Americans unknowingly break obscure laws every single day. Some of these laws can technically get you fined, some could get you sued, and some are so ridiculous you'll think they're fake, but they're real. In this video, we'll reveal everyday habits that are technically illegal in the United States and why nobody talks about them. Stay until the end, because the last one is so strange that it's still taught in some law schools as an example of outdated legislation. Let's begin. Over 50 million Americans unknowingly break at least one minor law every day, and chances are you're one of them. Today we're exposing the most common everyday actions that are technically illegal and the weird reason these laws still exist. In 2019, a man was fined hundreds of dollars for crossing the street the wrong way. He thought it was normal. Everyone else did it too, but technically, it was illegal. And that's just the beginning. If you've ever shared a Netflix password, crossed the street outside a crosswalk, or clicked I agree without reading, you may have broken the law. And by the end of this video, you'll realize how many laws you've been breaking your whole life without knowing it. When people hear the word illegal, they think of serious crimes, robbery, hacking, fraud, and violence. But the reality is very different. The United States has hundreds of thousands of laws across federal, state, and local levels. Many of them overlap, many contradict each other, and many are outdated. Some laws were written in the 1800s, others were written for technologies that no longer exist, yet, unless they're repealed, they remain technically enforceable. This means you can break a law without even knowing it exists. Legal experts often joke that it's impossible to live an entire day in America without technically breaking some obscure law. Let's look at the most common everyday examples. Picture this. You're late for work. The crosswalk is 50 meters away. No cars are coming. So you cross the street. Congratulations. In many cities, you just committed a crime. Jaywalking. Crossing the street outside of designated crosswalks has been illegal in many U.S. cities for over a century. But here's the twist. Streets originally belonged to pedestrians. In the early 1900s, cars were dangerous and blamed for accidents. Car companies launched massive campaigns to shift blame onto pedestrians. They pushed lawmakers to create jaywalking laws, turning pedestrians into reckless walkers. Today, millions of Americans jaywalk daily. In New York City, thousands of tickets were issued for jaywalking in the early 2010s. Some fines reached over $250. In California, jaywalking was recently decriminalized in many areas because it disproportionately affected low-income communities. But in many places, it's still technically illegal. So if you've ever crossed the street outside a crosswalk, you're part of the club. Let's talk about something almost everyone does: sharing streaming passwords. You share your Netflix with your parents. Your friend shares Disney Plus. Your cousin uses your Spotify. Streaming companies say this is against their terms of service unless it's within the same household. Legally, violating terms of service can be considered a breach of contract. In 2016, a U.S. federal appeals court ruled that sharing passwords could be considered unauthorized access in certain situations. Now, will you go to jail for letting your mom use your Netflix? Absolutely not. But is it technically against the rules and potentially illegal in strict legal interpretation? Yes. That's why companies like Netflix started cracking down on account sharing in recent years. Millions of Americans still share passwords daily. Despite these rules, here's one of the biggest gray areas: downloading movies, music, games, or software without paying. Piracy has existed since the early days of the internet. From Napster to torrent sites, millions of Americans have pirated content. Even streaming pirated movies on unofficial websites can be illegal. Under U.S. copyright law, downloading copyrighted material without permission can result in fines up to $150,000 per work. In reality, individuals are rarely targeted. Instead, companies go after large distributors, but the law still applies to individuals. In the early 2000s, the Recording Industry Association of America sued thousands of individuals for illegal downloads. Some settlements reached tens of thousands of dollars. Today, piracy is still widespread. Millions of Americans watch pirated sports events, movies, and shows every year. Technically illegal, practically common. Have you ever lied about your age online? Used a fake name in a game? Exaggerated something on social media? Most of the time, it's harmless, but in some contexts, Lying online is illegal. For example, lying on government forms is federal fraud. Using a fake identity for financial accounts can be identity fraud. Misrepresenting yourself in contracts can lead to legal consequences. Millions of Americans lie on dating apps, social media, and online profiles. Usually, nothing happens, but legally speaking, certain lies cross into criminal territory. Think about how many times you clicked I agree without reading anything. Every app, website, and software tool has terms and conditions. When you click agree, you're entering a legal contract. If you violate it, you can technically be sued. Examples: using free software for commercial business. Sharing paid software with others, modifying apps in prohibited ways. Millions of Americans violate these terms every day. Most companies don't care unless you're making money or causing harm, but legally, those terms are binding. Now for the strange and hilarious ones. Across the United States, some truly bizarre laws are still technically active. In Alabama, it was once illegal to wear a fake mustache that caused laughter in church. In Arizona, it's illegal to have a donkey sleep in a bathtub. In some states, carrying an ice cream cone in your back pocket is illegal. In others, it's illegal to whistle underwater or walk a giraffe on a leash in certain cities. Most of these laws are never enforced. Some were jokes, others were written for specific historical situations, but legally, many are still on the books. So technically, someone somewhere could be breaking a ridiculous law right now. Believe it or not, people have actually been fined for small, obscure laws. A man in Florida was fined for collecting rainwater due to outdated water rights laws. In some cities, people have been fined for feeding pigeons, walking dogs without leashes, or even sitting on sidewalks. These laws exist to maintain order, but many people don't even know they exist. So why don't lawmakers just remove these outdated laws? Because repealing laws takes time, political effort, and money. Legislators focus on creating new laws, not cleaning up old ones. Some laws remain simply because no one bothers to remove them. Others stay because they're useful in rare situations. The result is a massive legal system full of technical violations. So, should you panic? No. Most of these laws are rarely enforced, outdated, or only apply in specific circumstances, but they show how complex modern society is and how easy it is to break a law without trying. In reality, enforcement focuses on serious crimes, not everyday technical violations. These laws teach us something important. The legal system is massive, complex, and often outdated. Rules are written by humans and humans don't always update them. So next time you cross the street, share a password, or click I agree, remember, you might be technically breaking the law. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. What's the most shocking law you've heard of? And if you want more videos like this, check out the next one on your screen. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.